on this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast.
And that is how the season ends. It's just like I, and then like with like, and then like you just like with swelling music behind it, and then it just fucking stops.
All right, welcome to Devil's Trap Podcast. We are back. We're going to talk about Season 6, Episode 22, The Man Who Knew Too Much. But first, Liz, what's going on with you?
All right. So, as Diana said, like, we're coming back. We're just recorded 2 episodes in a row, so everything's kind of weird. So, but what's been going on with me is I just did another ghost hunting investigation thing. So, this is a fun thing that, it's like too many people are doing now. That is pretty much my takeaway, that everybody found out about this. And now, like, if you go to a ghost hunt, like if you watch a show, it'll be like, oh, there's like 4 guys and they're like in a building by themselves. But if you go online, you're like, oh, I want to go this ghost hunt. And no shade on the bros who throw this ghost hunt. I think they're great. This is not my first ghost hunt of theirs I've gone on. But it's still like there was 3 groups of people and like 15 people in each of the groups. So that's just a lot of people for me to be around in general. And this was an overnight thing. So it was like till like 1 in the morning. Like it was pretty late and in the middle of nowhere.
Go stay up late.
Ghosts hang out late. They like to hang out in the dark, I guess. But yeah, I don't think I saw ghosts. I don't know. My friends think I saw ghosts, and we've got pictures to prove that. But I think it's fun just because I like learning about history and like really like, so the place that we went to was a hospital for a very long time in a very small part of Texas. And honestly, like it's close enough to where my Polish ancestors people were hanging out. Like that may have been their hospital.
Right.
And it was not a good hospital. It was just not. There was like all things like about like malpractice and other things, but it's a very famous hospital for being haunted. And so a lot of the paranormal, like famous, like paranormal people have gone there, and it's famous. So our friend of the pod, Zach Baggins, has an episode where he went to this hospital and he goes up on like, so it was run by nuns. And so I forget which nuns they were. Oh, fuck. I remembered which order they were. But I forgot it already. But anyways, like me and like, I know those nuns because they were the nuns at probably like my grandpa's church that I was at. Like, I think I probably knew like some of these nuns, but there's like all these stories there, but I guess like they don't like tattoos. And on the 3rd floor, like it actually has a basement, which is weird for Texas. Like we don't have basement things here.
No, our soil's not good for it. They collapse. We don't do them.
Yeah. And it's also just hard to get into it. Like, especially if you're down where I'm at, like they won't even collapse. You have to dynamite that shit because it's all limestone. So it's limestones and caves. So you can put stuff in caves, but it's like really hard to like go down. So anyway, so it was a hospital for a long time. There was a basement, there was a ground floor, and there was a 2nd floor. And the 2nd floor is where it was like the nuns, like living quarters. So men weren't allowed on that floor. So they don't like men, the ghosts apparently of the nuns don't like when men come on that floor. And apparently if you have tattoos, they also like to choke you out. So Zach, when he was on there, like he like takes off all his clothes. He's basically just like
take my shirt off.
He's like, come at me, bitches. Like, and like he
look
was
at my tattoos. He like
taunts the nuns, and then like supposedly, I don't know if he got choked out. But so when I was there, we were on the 2nd floor, and I did not like rip off my clothing. I just had on as much clothing as possible because there's no air conditioning, and it's June in fucking Texas, and it's so hot. You know what I had? I got one of those little neck fans. And it's the best thing I've ever bought. It was like $25 from Amazon. Sorry about something from Bad Corporate Daddy. But like, so it's like, it has like a USB thing. You just charge it and you put it on. And like, I normally sweat like a fucking pig. And it was it was okay. Like, I actually, like, I was hot, but I didn't die. And I'm like, this is the best.
You were just glowing instead of dripping.
Yes, like, I didn't want to die. Like, I was just like kind of okay. So I wasn't as miserable. But I was in a tank top and shorts and Docs though, because there's a lot of things.
Just tetanus.
There's tetanus, like they have filled it with garbage. And it's like a quarters episode of like a ghost hospital. Like, and I know like they think like that brings chaos and like more ghosts come in, like things are all disgusting. But I'm like, that also brings like staph infection. And so I think like they should clean it out a little bit. I think the ghosts would be happier if they clean shit. They like this like empty bottle of wine is a trigger object. And like, of course it is. The ghost is like, clean this shit up. It's not sanitary. And they have all these stories about like, you know, there was like a guy who like OD'd and was like dumped in the hospital grounds. And like, there was like a double murder that supposedly happened there, but nobody has any record of, because after it was a hospital, it became a rehab place. And I also was texting Diana about it. Like within the episode, like Zach Baggins goes out to like where some of the oil rigs are. And so if any of you are from this part of Texas and you know the people who work those oil rigs, like this douchebag and his film crew, like right up like next to like some oil rigs, and they're like, and like, we don't know.
Let's talk about ghosts.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about like all the people that come to this hospital that, you know, sometimes like they were dying because they got like injured doing this, because like this is the only thing these people without education they can afford to do, like the only thing they can do to feed their families. I wonder how they die. Won't that be really fun? And then like this guy like drives up, he's just kind of like a site worker, he's like, yo, you can't be here, bitch. And then like they kind of start talking, but then he like goes into the story about like how like his uncle or cousin or somebody like died in that hospital, and he's like one of the ghosts, like he like haunts it. And so him and Zach bond, and he was just like, yeah, like, you know, maybe you can come out close, like, but you don't want to like fuck with the people who work there. And then Zach is like, yeah, you like, well, you want to put a demon hunter against a roughneck? And I'm like, yes,
I know who I'm putting my money on.
I do.
And it's not the demon hunter.
Yes, he was like, yes, I do want to put a demon hunter against a roughneck, and I would have paid to watch that fight. Who, by the way, that was probably the scariest part of my evening. So after we left, and I did have my new thermal heat wave gun, and it's so exciting. It takes the best pictures, and we're gonna have the best like ghostiest things to like share with you guys. But afterwards, like, I had to go to this gas station like 3 times because there's no plumbing in the haunted hospital. So you have to go to the 24-hour gas station that you can walk to, or my friends, when I like actually drove back and forth, which is probably the better idea. Like, you had to drive past the Christmas like version of Freedom Isn't Free or something like that. It's got like the soldier, but it's like leaning down with like the rifle like on the helmet, but it's made out of Christmas lights for some reason. That's a 4th of July decoration they had for a thing. And so you have to drive past that back and forth, and you finally like go into the restrooms. They were actually really nice. But at 1:30 in the morning, the clientele
is interesting.
Holy fuck, man, they scared the shit out of me. I was just like, this is like, you want to know what's terrifying. It's not what's happening in that house, except the fact, like, I have never been so glad. Like, the heat gun, like, it's the best thing I've ever gotten for ghost things, because you can walk around an abandoned building and you can tell, like, because they're like, there may be possums or maybe raccoons, and there weren't. Fucking lying bitches. But like, I can at least like see like if there was something in the rubble, right? Like, so if there's like a meth head,
a rat that's going to run out at you,
or a rat, a rat or a meth head, like I could see them. And so I'm so like, it makes like, I found myself like so brave now. I'm like, whatever, like I walk down like all these like dark hallways, like I don't need a light. I can tell who's here. Like, oh, I can't see that sofa. Ow. Anyway, so that
the sofa is not warm. That is not warm. You can't see that
unless like somebody is sitting on it. If somebody has sat on that sofa, it actually will stay warm for a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's neat science. All right, so that was my stuff. I know, too long, but all right, Diana, what's going on with you? What is fun, exciting in your life?
Oh, we got to celebrate some birthdays. It was Babe's birthday recently, so happy birthday, Babe! And then we had my sister's birthday, so we did a big family dinner and ate a bunch of sushi, which is always fun. And we're getting ready to go to the beach for a few days. Go Texas beach. It would be nice. And I decided my big bold decision that I'm sure people really care about is that I got my fingers tattooed the other
Is
night.
there a
I'm very
word for that?
excited. I call them finger charms. I don't know.
I like that you call them that. Is that they're
So
actually what they're called?
my artist called them that
I
in
like
passing.
that. I think it's pretty.
So I got little like gray wash, but like little signs on my fingers, and I'm very excited about them. And it feels very like a bold step, but I really like them.
And we'll share them on the grams so you can see them. But yeah, they're so pretty. I like them.
I do too. So that's exciting. I'm definitely a lifer and committed now, apparently. Not that I wasn't before, but like that's like it's like the old rule, like hands and neck. Those are like the oh shit.
Yeah,
tattoos.
but now the fucking dumbass who like delivers my food has fucking neck tattoos.
Yeah, but that's like the only ones he has.
The only one he has. No, like you just started with that.
Yeah. So
that was a choice. That was a choice people make now, and they're also. I don't like the fact that people start at the wrist and go up. That's not okay.
We also got to go watch people blow shit up for some fun.
And you did not blow. You did not blow yourself. And nobody
lost it. No, we didn't blow ourselves up. No one lost a limb, and there was really fun fireworks out in the country at our friend's house. So we did that. And yeah, getting ready for the 4th of July.
America.
I love the 4th. I love fireworks so much. I don't think you understand. You've never watched me watch fireworks, I don't think. I'm like a 5-year-old. I like to sit there and like eyes wide, big smile, just stare at them the whole time. And I cheer after each big section. Like I'm like the grown up. There's a bunch of kids at this. And I'm like, yay. And like everybody else is like quiet. I'm like,
I don't like being startled.
Make me happy. They make the fireworks. I know they're happening. They make me happy.
Yeah, I don't like loud booms. So no, thank you. My animals don't like loud booms. It's a very stressful time of year. We live in a place that is typically dry. People will blow things off, and then we'll start brush fires, and houses will burn down. That actually become like a Dean. No, Sam. It's Sam's brain. That is very much like Sam's brain in this episode. So I think that's a really good transition. Are you ready? Are you ready to transition?
Yeah.
All right. So this episode, there was a very interesting throwback thing that I dug into I went into the Wayback Machine of the internet. Like I really had to go into the Wayback Machine of the internet to find this quote. So somebody, this was posted on the Supernatural Wiki, and it was Sera Gamble. Remember, she's the showrunner at this point, but we're going to get to that. She's not the one who wrote this episode. Someone else wrote this episode, but there's this very clickbait article that I can get to you from the Supernatural Wiki, and it's the name of this. The title of his article was "Supernatural Boss on Finale: Characters that people like will be killed." Isn't that the greatest title of an article that was ever written? And it's just like, oh, we're trying, like, it was original clickbait, right? It was just like, like, this is like what people are going to click on. But really, it was TV Guide talking with, I think it was Han Nguyen talking with Sera Gamble about the season finale. And so she was asked, how does this part pair with the second half of the finale, The Man Who Knew Too Much? And she said, we have so many mythologies going on that we heard that we were going to air episode 21 and 22 in the same night. We talked about breaking it up as one huge 2-hour episode with a short cliffhanger in the middle. But what ended up happening was 2 distinct episodes. Episode 21 deals with a lot of Dean stuff, and episode 22 deals with a lot of Sam stuff. And that's just the way it worked out. Both guys are very active in both episodes. There's a lot of Dean in episode 22, and there's a lot of Sam in episode 21, and there's a lot of Bobby and a lot of Castiel in both. But it ends up kind of being Dean heavy 21 and Supernatural heavy in 22. And
that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah. So basically, well, then if you think back too, then 19 was all about Cass.
Fair, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then. Whatever. Anyways, but so 19 was Cass, and then we have Dean, now we have Sam. So that does make sense. That's interesting.
Yeah, and so when you think of, I watched these episodes with that kind of in mind, thinking about, oh, this is the Dean finale for season 6, and now we're at the Sam finale. And this title of the episode with The Man Who Knew Too Much comes from an Alfred Hitchcock movie, and that was actually a remake of an earlier movie. And it's also famous for, this is the one that has Que Sera Sera by Doris Day. Okay, Sera, Sera. That song is in that movie, so I think that's cool. And this first aired May 20th, 2011, and was directed by Robert Singer. So we have Robert Singer directing, and it was fucking written by Eric Kripke. So we have the showrunner who stepped down for this entire season coming back and writing this episode, which is still letting like Sera go like spread her wings, and like it's still Sarah's story, I think.
Right.
But it has like, okay, now we're gonna bring his flair back into it. And I just think that's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And we do get a recap with our rollback of Carry On My Wayward Son for the recap of this episode. And we start, the episode opens with Sam frantically running down a street. We're getting flashes of neon lights, and he is definitely being chased by the cops.
Okay. So we are running past the signs. Are you noticing anything?
I didn't. I just noticed they were cool neon.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, that you should have noticed things. You know why?
Damn it.
Because that is part of season 6 trivia, and it starts now. Oh my God, we're here. It's season 6. It's the finale. We're here. And so it's time to quiz Diana about what do you remember from this past season?
Oh, God.
Or possibly past things of supernatural, because Sam's running down this alley and it's a sign that things are a dreamscape. He run past a sign for castle storage.
I did see that.
What is
I noticed
that?
the castle storage
What
sign.
is castle storage?
That is the storage location where John Winchester had stored things.
Pew, 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 pew. All right, that is correct. All right, so this is a sound ticket for that. All right, that is Diana got a thing right. Okay. All right, the hotel that he goes to and he stops at, that's a Night Owl. Was that in season 6?
I don't know. Yes.
Yes, that was correct. That was it. They stayed at in episode 5, Live Free or Die Hard. As a bonus, can you remember where else they stayed at?
No, I remember the Night Owl. That was it. I don't remember.
They also stayed in that in season 5, Fallen Idols, but the building was different. So that's just a wash. Okay. All right. So now let's just we're going to straight into season 6 music trivia. Diana's thing. All right. So we're going to talk about music from the season. Just a few questions. All right.
Okay.
Can you remember the name of the Rolling Stones song, which was also the name of the first episode of the season? And I can give you a multiple choice if you want.
First episode of the season. Was it? I want to say it's something like Simple Man, but I don't think that's it. Is that it? I don't know. Is it? I forgot.
No. So I'm going to give you a multiple choice question, and just in our last, I'll give you also a hint that I taught when I purposely, when I gave mentioned the intro to the episode, I talked about Rolling Stone songs. I mentioned it. So I'm going to give you some multiple choice. Maybe that'll ring a bell. All right. So is it A, Tumbling Dice, B, Shine a Light, C, Exile on Main Street, or D,
That's
Rocks
what it was.
Off?
It's Exile on Main Street.
It was Exile on Main Street. All right. So that was great. Okay.
That's why I was going Simple Man. I'm like, that's not wrong. But it was like, I was trying to go with something when he was like in the domestic life. I knew that.
Yes. I knew as soon as I said it, you would hear it. But I purposely, like I said earlier, we're recording these back to back. And I was dropping, I may have dropped hints.
You're giving me hints.
I may have purposely put some hints in that episode, just so you know. All right. So your question number 4, what song feels like an appropriate Bobby theme song when played during his montage in episode 4, Weekend at Bobby's? I mean, if you need a hint.
Yeah, I need a hint.
All right. This man had a pet goat named Smitty that he considered a calming influence. Does that help?
No.
Would you like another hint?
Yeah.
The song uses poker-related metaphors to convey the idea of being down on your luck.
Oh, was it The Gambler?
It was The Gambler. Yeah. Hooray!
I would love to have this sex with you.
You didn't notice Liz has a new soundboard.
Thank you Riverside for fucking sponsor us. I'll drop that shit if you want.
Right?
But yeah, I just found our new soundboard on Riverside and have spent our break uploading weird shit just for this game. Okay.
Yay.
So things that make Liz happy, I will take it. All right. Question number 5. In episode 5, I just love this episode. Live free or try hard. What plays in the Black Rose while Kristen searches for Robert? Is it? I'll give you multiple choice. You need that? Okay. Is it A, Outcast, Dracula's Wedding? B, Marilyn Manson's If I Was Your Vampire? C, The Misfits, Vampira? Or D, Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead?
It was Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Yes, that is correct. And I also just made that up. Thank you for ChatGPT for helping me come up with top 20 songs that had things about vampires. I have incorporated those in a Spotify playlist that is now available for download. Go listen to that. All right. Your final music question. We still got a few questions after that, but the final music one. What was the name Dean gave to the monsters created by Eve in episode 19, Mommy Dearest?
Jefferson Starships.
Jefferson Starships.
You are correct. Woo! All right.
Because they're horrible and hard to kill.
So good. All right. Question 7. She is the monster in episode 6. You Can't Handle the Truth. Name that monster. You can have a hint if you want. She loves cats. Does that help? You know the one?
Yes.
Her name means truth in Latin.
Oh, shit. It's something about Veritas.
That's it.
Yeah.
You got that right. Hooray. All right. Question number 8, but about episode 9. What were the things that everyone thought were aliens, although they actually might be aliens?
Fairies.
Fight the fairies! You fight those fairies!
Yes, it was fairies. That's very exciting. All right. Also, the name of the episode was "Clap Your Hands If You Believe." That would have been your hint. All right. Number 9, in episode 16, we learned that Eve has caused hunters to come across the best possible party. What type of party was that?
Oh, werewolf party.
Pudding!
Well, it was werewolf dance party, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Dance party. Sorry, werewolf dance party. Yeah.
All right, and your final question for season 6 trivia: what was the best ship that ever was shipped in episode 17? My Heart Will Go On.
Oh, you didn't have to go that far. It's Bobby and Ellen, obviously.
Pudding! I would love
Obviously.
to have the sex with you.
Yes, that is correct. And yes, that is what, if anything, season 6 did. It brought us the idea of Bobby and Ellen together. And I just like to have that in my heart because I feel like that's the type of relationship we all want, right? We all want Bobby and Ellen.
We do.
Oh. All right, and that's my Hallmark movie pitch. So Jensen, take that to Candace Cameron and y'all have a thing. Okay, so now let's for real get into this shit.
Yeah. So Sam's running from the cops like you do, and ends up going into the delivery entrance to a bar. And the bartender's like, we're closed. We open again at noon. You got to go. He's like, no. I just need to chill for a minute. And she is very agreeable to this, but also partially because she realizes the cops are after him. And she's like, what the fuck did this guy do? Which is a reasonable response.
I'm also just, my note says, like, you don't understand. I'm a hot, sexy bad boy. I just need a minute to think. I don't know my name. I don't remember anything. And she looks reasonably concerned.
She does look reasonably concerned. She's like, okay, well, if you're a blank slate with no ID and no wallet, have a beer and let's go to the hospital.
What?
It's very weird.
You've got a head injury. It seems like you may have a problem. I want to take you to a doctor. Would you like some alcohol?
And also, why are the cops chasing you? Oh, one of them woke you up on a park bench. You don't know how you got there, and you knocked 2 of them out cold. So you assaulted 2 cops.
Okay,
is
so
what
you just
hear.
committed a felony. Cool. And you just want to hang out here. All right.
And you don't know why.
And you don't know why you did that,
it.
but
it was just
but
instinct.
you know how you just fine. Yes, have more alcohol, sir. Okay.
Very reasonable response.
Yeah, that's fine. And so I'm just going to talk about your bowel movements and tell you that relax. You can't poop it out. It will come to you. And I think that this is sometimes you just know things that you include in your professional life. So I think the next time that I had to write executive summary to some C-suite executive, it would be like, if you can't think about what to do during this crisis, you can't poop it out.
I'm not going to file that one away.
No, you're not going to use that in email. That's not going to be like your signature going off. Your side up.
No.
It's not going to be in your hat. your little stylus.
No.
Yep. All right. So what does come to him?
He sees a Lovecraft novel on the shelf, happens to be the Hunter in the Dark, and
Haunter.
So
it's Haunter.
So Haunter in the Dark.
I have note of it because I had to look at it multiple times, and I wrote about this episode last to make sure. And it's just a weird word.
It is. I don't like it.
Haunter of the Dark. So fuck you, Lovecraft, because you fucked us up there. So you racist piece of shit. But I do like the bartender's bracelet selection. I think she's got a very nice, she has that calm, stud to leather ratio that I would always like to get to make it looks like it's not a big deal, but she clearly puts that on every day, and I like it.
Yeah, but it makes Sam remember things when he picks this book up, and he has a little flash about the Night Owl Hotel and something about Dean and Lovecraft. So he's gonna borrow her laptop to look this motel up, and
she thinks he may be a gigolo.
Yeah,
and I think that's a reasonable thing. When I have looked up hookers in other towns, they often look like Jared Padalecki.
Is that what happens?
If you ever want something fun to do, I highly suggest looking up angels for cowboys cowboys for angels. Put that into your Google search.
I'm not, but thank you for the suggestion.
They exist in Dallas.
I am certain they do. I have no doubt in my mind. And so he's like, oh, I have to go to this motel. She's like, no, really, I still think you need to go to the hospital. But if you're not going to go to the hospital, I will drive you to this motel.
What?
That's in
so you're just gonna
2 towns over.
So you're just gonna get in the car with the crazy dude. Okay.
With the admitted felon that has no memory at all.
He's gonna get into this car, but you don't know it's his, right? Because he goes outside and he's like, yeah, that's my car.
Oh no, we're not there yet. They haven't found his car yet.
We haven't found that yet. I'm sorry. We just automatically sorry, we don't even get to the car part, right? We just jump to the hotel.
Yeah, so they get to the car, even though she's crazy and doesn't know him. They go to the motel, and he's like, "Oh, I recognize that fire escape."
And that is the coolest sign, though. The Night Owl Hotel, cool I want it on a T-shirt.
It's really cool.
I think I actually have a very old sleep T-shirt, that I got this a size 13 years ago, but it's the softest and the best shirt, and it says hoot something, it's got owls on it. Yeah, it needs to be on a shirt. Owls just make good pajamas. They do.
Yeah, they do. So they get to this place and they decide to go inside, and he's going to borrow her credit card, not to check in, but to break into a hotel room.
Security, I guess it's 2011, but Jesus fucking Christ. If I can just slip into this room with with a credit card.
That's very questionable.
Don't. That looks like the hotels that were in the town where I went ghost hunting at, and we looked at them. They're like, would you like to stay here? And when I was talking to the people who ran the ghost hunt, and they're like, oh, we used to stay there, but we stopped because it was always dirty, and they're like, but it was fine. But I mean, there was the roaches, and the TV never worked, and I'm like, huh, it's an hour and a half back. Red Bull, cool. Anyhow, so all right, so they get into this room, and what do we have in this room?
Full on murder walls, pretty epic ones. It's a really good murder room.
That murder
wall
is
hotel
good.
room. Yeah. And she calls it Beautiful Mind Meets 7.
It is. And she's still on board with this. It's still kind of creepy. And
until she finds the stack of IDs.
She does. And he's on his IDs.
Yeah, a lot of IDs. Jimmy Page, Neil Peart, Angus Young. So she obviously knows that these are all fucking fake because it's a stack of his own IDs with different names of famous rock stars.
Yeah. So Jimmy Page was who? Oh, come on, Dan. That's Zeppelin. We all fucking hate Zeppelin. Pert was Rush. Ugh. And then Angus Young was the dead singer from AC/DC.
Yeah.
But they've all been used in previous episodes. So there's other things that are like, have now been, if you're watching this, like, you're like, this is not realsies. Did you know? Okay, I guess at your point as a viewer, were you thinking it was realsies?
I still kind of did, but at this point, you're starting to question.
Okay.
And when Sam sees a picture of our famous Dr. Visiak on the wall, he starts having visions of her and falls out. And I've just pointed out that he hasn't really, which is weird because Sam never really had any interactions with her.
No, but this is, I think you were going to see that he's remembering the memory that he was just having. Like, he was just, like, this is a memory he just had. So
right,
he just
of course.
I
just thought it was interesting.
That's fair. It's fair. But yeah, the poor SFU professor is missing. Damn it, Dr. Eleanor, where are you? Who has taken you? And so we cut to an alley.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Stratton music should be playing. And so like they're all three of them are like walking down this alley. Walking down an alley.
Snapping their fingers. Sam, Dean, and Bobby. And they're supposed to be meeting Dr. Visiak, but Bobby's calling her and they hear her phone, which is not a good sign. It's on the ground, and they find her very bloody and injured behind a dumpster.
She has a hole in her belly.
Yeah. And ends up basically, the long story short we get is they took her, she got away, but the demon she could have handled, but when the angel stepped in, ...
That's just awful. That's just awful. But she's like, hey, if you would like to know the recipe to how to open the door to purgatory, here you go. You need
because I already told Castiel and Crowley.
You did. You need a quarter cup of virgin's blood. You need a quarter cup of purgatory native. Hey, that's me. And then you need the moon of the eclipse. Oh, wait. So we got time. It's still daytime.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then she apologized to Bobby and died. No!
Avenge me! She should have said avenge me. You should avenge her, Bobby.
And Castiel shows up. And he's apologizing, saying that Crowley got carried away.
He has the nerve to flap in. Like, this is not, again,
not the
read
time,
the
sir.
room. Read the room. You don't just flap in and be like, I'm sorry, like your mama baby died, or like whatever is happening here. Like, it's not your place cast. You need to butt the fuck out. You're not being, it's not good, it's not good. And Bobby's just like, hold me back.
Yeah. And Dean's like, pissed. He's like, Castiel, you came and see how off the rails you are. But Castiel's also pissed. He's like, this is enough. You can't see or understand what I'm doing. You need to go the fuck home and let me stop Raphael. But obviously that's not going to happen. So Cass is like, well, I wish it didn't come to this. When it's over, I'll save Sam, but only if Dean stands down.
What? I'm sorry.
What?
Save Sam for what?
What? And then he brain boops Sam.
Oh, Cass did something bad. So
crossing a line, sir.
Yeah,
crossing a line.
You're just fucking with my family now, and you don't fucking my family. And like, and I this is not good. Like, any of it, all this is bad. And so now
we go back
we
to
know
Sam's world.
Yep.
So we're in Sam's head, basically. And he's with the bartender. Robin is her name, by the way. It's not very clear, but that's her name.
Yeah, I guess they kind of come in and out of it. I don't really, whatever.
And he kind of snaps out of it after having this vision. And he remembers his name is Sam. And she's like, what else do you remember? And he's like, I don't know. I was with two guys. One looked like a male model. The other one's older, named Bobby. That was so funny. I was dying.
Yeah, he's just got a male model and an older guy named Bobby. And so he's got an address book, and it's Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
He knows where Bobby Singer lives. And she's like, finally, Robin's like, look, this is too much. I'm going to have to
hop off this crazy train. Time to go.
Yeah.
Time to go. Run away, Robin. That's what you should be doing if you're a normal chick. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sam's like, it's cool. There's car keys here. I guess I have a car. Let's go outside. Oh, here's baby. This is my car. Yay. How do you know? I don't know. But he does. So, which is also another sign, like, where you're confirmed. Like, if you had any question if this was in his head or not, you know it is, because.
But they didn't do this in the last part, which is why I got confused. Because I really thought that the last part was, but it's not. I don't know. It's.
So she's like, look, you just can't go off like this. I've got a bad feeling about all this, But he hears somebody cock a gun.
Shots fired. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
Shots fired.
And right when the shot rings out, he tackles her and saves them both. But he looks over and this gets real creepy. I don't
it's
like
him.
This.
He shot himself. Sam shot himself. Wait, there's two Sams. What the fuck is happening? Okay, and now we're just cutting to Sam sleeping on the cot, and fuck my life. Like, I have been spending so much time looking at beds, and Sam was like lying on this cot. I was looking at the frames, being like, is that frame iron? Is that just a mattress? Like, does that have like any coils in it? And I was like, well, it looks pretty shitty, but then if you stare at it, it looks kind of comfortable. Like, maybe it's like a feather or a down thing, but allergic feather down. But you can put some sheets on that shit, because he's just lying on this thing with like no mattress pad, and that Jared Padalecki / Sam Winchester is really huge, and he's probably sweating a lot, and that's just a lot of man sweat. And then damn it, back to the show. Okay.
So this is where it's confirmed to me that it's all in his head. And we also noticed that Bobby's bunker, it has way more sigils on the walls than it used to.
Yeah,
so I guess they're keeping the angels out.
Yeah, and I think, as it kind of hinted, in this episode, we really see these things like step up. And the set designer, sorry, your name is in the book that's underneath something over here and I can't dig it out. But the designer was talking about, really how like she was developing the sigils from real things, but faking them like just like a little bit, which is all know how you invoke shit. Like, just make shit up from whole. But then I'm just like, well, then you become Lovecraft, right? And you're just making, and then you're just all making up shit. And like, so like this is round and round. So like, yeah, maybe she started all the chaos. Like, maybe this is why like the last like 7 years have happened, just because of these signs that were put together on the fucking walls of Supernatural.
Maybe so.
Thanks for COVID, bitch.
We got whiskey and a notepad and a radio. This is our big zoom in entry here. So we know they're just drinking their feelings again, but Bobby and Dean are kind of talking, and we find
also
out
have Rolling Stones again too.
Oh, do we hear too? Oh,
yeah, Play with Fire is playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had noted a minute down. Yeah, Play with Fire is playing, and we find out that what did Castiel do to Sam?
I think the girl across the street just took a picture. Sorry, like, we're gonna have to pause here, but the girl across, so somebody is watering the house across the street, and she just took my picture. I have no shades. So this, you can see me very clear. I'm very in front of a very large bay window, and there is a giant ring light on me with a camera on it. And the chick just across the street just took a picture of me.
She probably thinks you're a big deal.
I don't know. But anyways, my neighbors, your lawn is getting watered. Okay, so sorry, let's rewind and go back, but I had to mention that if like you're in like San Antonio, I don't know like where that's going to get posted, probably on TikTok or something, or Snapchat, because I'm too I don't know. Anyways, sorry, go on.
So we learn here is what did Castiel do to Sam? He broke the wall. So now we know why Sam is out. It's not because Castiel did something new to him necessarily. He broke down the wall that blocked his memories of his hell and his bad year.
Which we have all known and has been
could make him insane and kill him.
I'm surprised. Was that in the flashback? Do they have the flashback to like if this falls you'll die? I don't remember in the beginning.
In the recap, but
they should have. So if you forgot, like, if this breaks, Sam is
you turn to mush. Your brain goes to mush.
You're going to go to mush. And so this is what we think is happening. And Bobby has a solution, and it's whiskey.
Of course it is. But Bobby's pissed too but Bobby's also mad at Dean because Dean's like holding a vigil by Sam's side, which is commendable. But also they've still got to solve this purgatory shit. And Bobby's like, look, I'm down one man. I can't be down two. Purgatory's popping in 16 hours. We got to fucking go, brah. And
but at least
Dean's like, but we don't have any leads. Right? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so let's just drink some whiskey and we'll figure it out. And you got to think about what would Sam do? That's really what Bobby says. Bobby wants Dean to put on a bracelet, wants to print out a thing, and then just say WWSD.
Yeah. What would Sam do? So we cut back to inside Sam's head though, and he's driving and he makes a comment that it smells like whiskey. which is interesting. So he's smelling what's happening in real life around him in the bunker.
Or just maybe baby smells a fuck ton like whiskey. Because
and
I'm
he's
pretty
the bartender.
sure that
Maybe
car...
she had a bunch of whiskey.
Oh,
she
yeah,
probably spilled a bunch of whiskey
she
on her
works
shoes.
at bar, like, I'm pretty sure this car smells like booze and sweat and farts.
Yeah.
Booze and sweat and farts. That's a baby smell.
And she's pretty upset, though. Robin's upset because she's like, we need to, I don't trust your friends. This is super fucking sketch. Who shot at us? But they just
she seems fine, like, with everything. But she's like scary, but it's like, this is fine.
That's very weird. Very weird. So as we see Dean is in a bunker flashing a flashlight in Sam's eyes as he's driving, suddenly he sees a bright flash of light, but then also he slams on the brakes and it's daytime now. And he notices this. This is the first time, like, we've commented about this, about like their time of like day, night. Sometimes seems a little bit exaggerated.
We drove 17 hours and it's been night the whole time.
Yeah,
we have kept up with the sun.
But it's hilarious because in this one, he's like, oh, it's daylight now. And she's like, yeah, it's always been daylight. And I'm like,
what?
Oh, no.
Nope.
It was night. It was definitely night. So that's kind of an interesting, I think that was like a big, big, big hint to him as he's slowly figuring out that something's not right.
Yep.
This was a hint to him for sure. So he hears a noise in the woods because he's like, you can't go, but but where does he go when he hears the noise in the wood? He knows what he's got to go check. Good old Trunk. Trunk is always there for you.
He does. He goes and tests out Trunk. Hi, Trunk. And he's also so happy, and he picks up a pump shotgun. That's what he picked out of. Fuck. Whatever.
Good, decent option.
I guess,
a decent option.
Fine.
It's a very versatile
and once
option.
again, he also used the other sawed off, like to hold up the trunk. Like he was just like, we're just gonna use a gun to hold up this. That seems fine. Great idea.
So he goes into the woods to find out what was stalking him, and it finds himself, who manages to put a gun to his neck and take his shotgun and empty the shotgun shells from it.
Okay, so also he's in these woods, right? And he's in these woods, and they looked really great. And so I went and looked up where they are. So where they're at is a place that's called Panther Paintball. And if you guys don't know, and we mentioned it before, but I don't know, maybe you haven't listened to all of our episodes. Like Panther was Diana's derby name, so she was Panther City
Princess.
So this place is actually awesome, and so they don't offer private games. It's just this giant airsoft like place up in British Columbia. Huh. And so basically they see anywhere, like they only open on the weekends, and they see anywhere from 60 to 200 players that come out on Saturday and Sunday, and the whole place is just like all these different like sets and shit because it's been used for a lot of movies, and everybody just like drops in, and then you just like can like play paintball or airsoft with each other, and like so it just seems like a really good time. And I also saw a review that said that chicks were free, and I thought that was a thing that was interesting. So if you're a chick in British Columbia, go play airsoft gun for free, like get something for like a little like lesser paid. They also do things like on Sunday, July 30th, there's going to be a turf war, and like they're going to have like 3 teams that be competing for control over time constrained objective sites, and then they have lunch, and then at lunch the spawn's objectives will change, and the game runs for the most of the day, and at 4 p.m. the ends with CQB and whatever that means, and it costs $30 plus tax to do that. So if you're in British Columbia, go do that. That looks like a lot of fun.
Sure.
Panther Paintball.
And
I bet it's a lot less hot up there. Like that seems like, because right now, if you're like, do you want to go play like paintball? I'll be like, fuck you. But like British Columbia, I'm like, that sounds fun. So that's why these woods though. But like these woods, like they look very like, obviously they're woods, they lease these for productions, but they're very, I don't say specific, but they look very television-y. Like, I think on purpose.
I'm just not a woods person. Like, it takes a lot. They gotta be really fucking magical woods for me to say they look like, to me, it'd be like, those were lovely woods. Like, I'm just not a woodsy person.
I love woods.
Oh my God, it's the woods.
What is wrong with you? It's nature. It's just wonderful.
I like nature. I just don't like being, I think they have to be really magical woods for me to stand up.
All right. So in our magical woods, which is the air, like where people are like, pew, 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 there's like a paintball thing like behind them.
Right. Paintball game is going on behind the scene. But basically, we get a very well written dialogue exchange, I think, between Sam and what I call Sam 2,
So
which is Murder Sam.
Yeah, so I've got Soul Sam and Soulless Sam, and because we all know
I didn't know that yet, so it was hard.
And so, but I also kind of thought of this, like the other one I was thinking of the comic book. This one I think of as like a video game, right? And I feel like it's a video game where you're going through and you're collecting weapons, and like you're doing like an RPG, and you're like scrolling through what weapons you're going to choose. Yeah. And so Soul Sam, he chose a pump action sawed-off shotgun, and the Soulless Sam he has chosen a semi-automatic pistol.
Right,
that's what he has chosen. So I feel like that's the game that we're playing now.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty funny when they're going back and forth, and he's like, normally you're awake when you're tripping balls. I thought it was a pretty funny line. It was what Sam 2 tells actual Sam. Yep. Soulless Sam tells Sam. But basically he's like, this is where Soulless Sam tells Sam that the wall has crumbled. The wall is gone, and your soul has basically shattered into multiple pieces.
And he's also just negging himself. He's just like, you're a fucking pussy. That's why it's fucking happening to you. Yeah. Like, you're like a stronger dude. Like, you wouldn't be like crawling like a little bitch on this. Like, and he's just like, go fuck me. And I'm just like, you hate yourself, Sam. Like, I think we need to break this down a little bit more. Why do you hate yourself so much? Oh, you're so broken. It's hot. Okay, I like this. Go on.
So basically, Soulless Sam is talking about how the souls make you weak and it's a liability. So he's actually sharper and stronger than Sam because he doesn't have a soul.
Woo, fair point. Yeah.
But then he's like, so somebody's got to take charge, and gets ready to start shooting Sam. But Sam makes a pretty good getaway, runs away, which I'm actually fairly impressed at his agility on this getaway.
Yeah, because I also have in my notes, how much noise does Jared Padalecki make stomping through the woods? Oh I mean, were there sightings of Bigfoot in Vancouver that week? It's just like, like, I'm sorry, he is a very large man, and I can't see him being stuffy in the woods.
But not Soulless Sam. Sam actually is pretty good and like sets a trap and makes the Soulless guy think that he's like hiding by the creek still, but he's not. He's going to sneak up and shoot Soulless Sam in the back, which is pretty fucking cold-blooded. I'm
gross.
Just saying.
That's just gross. It's not a good move. Like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, you shoot yourself in the back.
But what other choice do you have?
Also, what
you just
the fuck does that
him.
say if you shoot yourself in the back? Like, I mean,
there's some psychological ramifications.
That's
here.
like thousands of dollars of therapy right there.
It is. It's a lot. It's very expensive. Probably less expensive than spending some time in hell, though. So we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. All right. So, like, finally, like, he falls down, and then we get like a very like breathing heavy Soul Sam, and then and then like and then like Soulless Sam is just like, you think I'm bad. Like, wait until you meet the other one. What? Mm-hmm. There's another one?
Yeah. And Sam absorbs the Soulless Sam's piece of his soul. I don't know. It's weird, but he does.
Yeah, he sucks in his other half.
He gets all the memories.
He sucks himself off. But then I'm also like on my notes is like, wait, there's another darker Sam. Yes, please. Ooh. So there's like another Sam that's even more emotionally unavailable than the first one. Fuck yeah, bring it on, motherfuckers. All right. So after he like sucks in himself, then we cut back to him.
He's writhing around on the cot, but then he goes back to the car and he remembers who Robin is. This is dark because he remembers everything from the past year now, or when he was soulless.
Dark, but also she's much hotter because she's hanging out in the car and like she just has like her resting like I'll kill you face, which is like the next level from bitch face. Like it's the next one, just like where we can just kill you with our eyes. Mm-hmm. And that's because she knows. She's like, I know what you did to me, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to recognize what you did. What did you do, Sam Winchester? What did you do?
She was being used as a hostage, and he just shot her as a hostage.
To like get to a demon,
just to get rid of them.
He just shot through her.
Yeah, it's like fuck it. Oh, you're gonna use her as a hostage? Well, you get no leverage. I will just kill her and be done and kill the human. Damn, that's fucking harsh. And as soon as he remembers this, she starts bleeding from the stomach, and she's like, "I told you to turn back, and you might not like what you found." Ooh.
Yeah, and then he's just like, he's sorry, I'm sorry. And she's just like, not as sorry as you're gonna be. And so we have more foreshadowing. It was like, we're not done yet. Okay, we thought this was it, right? Like, wasn't she it? Like, you killed a human.
No.
It gonna get worse. Okay. All right.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. And so we're gonna cut back, but now we're at Bobby's. All right. And Dean is just, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I am just gonna drink some whiskey. So whiskey is gonna really help me like figure out what I need to do. Okay.
And Bobby has Balthazar with him. Okay. That's good. And he's just really glad that they got their angel proofing right finally, because he can't get into that bunker.
And Dean immediately starts giving him shit about how long it took. And really, Dean, you need to shut the fuck up. Like, at some point, like, you need to, like, slow your roll.
Be grateful about something. Yeah,
because
he's being a real
Balthazar
dick.
has some really righteous points about why he thought about double-crossing them.
Yeah, he's like, look, we're really betraying our very powerful friend. And so, whatever. Here's a note with the location of Castiel and Crowley. So, you get what you want anyways, but chill the fuck out.
Yeah, and so it's like we know Balthazar is betraying like his friend, and it's for like this
and brother.
This is like, and that's something that's been going on for millennia, right? So this is very hard. But then, speaking of very hard, we cut to the lab,
and we've got Castiel and Crowley. And Crowley has a very fancy glass bottle of blood. It's their virgin blood.
No, I thought it looks like what I have on my Ninja, like for like making smoothies when you want to make them. Like you don't want to make the entire blender of smoothies and you just make like that little cup. That was what it looked like to me. Like it was this Ninja like blood smoothie.
Okay, well maybe not. But Castiel seems very sad, but he's not sad. He's just being very stoic because he wants to renegotiate the fucking deal. Bruh, it is too late to renegotiate the deal. And he's like, yeah, Crowley, you get nothing.
What?
That's it. That's the deal.
Double cross. All right, so we've got a shock and surprise of the season. Cast double cross Crowley. What? Yeah. The angel.
Yeah. Not cool. He's like, yeah, I'm neither stupid nor wicked. So he tells Crowley that he can flee or die. And he says that repeatedly. And Crowley's like, even I don't break contracts like this dickhead.
Also, though, like Crowley, when he was like giving them shit, he's very specifically tells Castiel that he is the bottom in this relationship. Once again, we have things that are very specifically being spelled out. He fucking said that Cass was the bottom. Just leaving that there. All right. Hooray. So glad you went there. But again, flee or die. So he flees. And we cut to
reasonable
the haunted mansion at Disney.
AKA Bobby's house in a fire hazard setting.
I am very uncomfortable. That is all this says here. It's just like, there's a lot of sheets
everywhere.
There's a lot of
many candles. Not on like any kind of like
there's nothing stopping through them. Like I'm concerned. I'm hyper. Maybe this is, I've been having a lot of a lot of anxiety this week, and maybe it's because of this.
This could do it.
Someone please give them some the electric candles. Thank you, please. But or
at least just some good like holders underneath them to keep like anything.
Just take the sheets away. Why are the sheets? Why do you have the extra? I want to recreate the Chicago fire. Like that's all I think here. Like this is how the cow like dies. Anyways, I know that's not the story, but whatever. All right, so it's sitting at the desk. It's not a monster.
But the desk is like in the kitchen though. It's very weird.
I don't know. It's in a head. It's a very fucked up head, and it's another Sam.
It's another Sam but he's got his hands sitting like the way his hands are sitting is very odd on the table, and then there's a knife like 2 inches to the side of it. It's very odd.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening here.
It's just weird.
It's uncomfortable.
And Sam asks which one he is, so I call this Sam 3. And he stands up, and we see he's all bloody and beat. He's like, I'm the one who remembers hell. Ruh-roh.
I just call him Hell Sam. And I just he's like, I'm the Sam that lost part of my face. I'm the Sam that makes me think of uncomfortable burn victim things. Okay, so it's all very bad. It looks awful. And it's going to get worse, though. All right, and so we're going to cut, though, to Bobby. And Bobby is packing up weapons. And Dean decides that his best course of action is I'm going to leave Sam a note.
Yeah.
What the
And
fuck?
he's got
Like,
the
I'm
address
just
of where
gonna
they're
leave,
going.
Okay,
Well, he has faith that Sam's going to wake up. I think it's really sweet.
Look, you were
That's stupid.
going away on like a not long vacation. It's short, right? And you were upset and concerned about leaving your dog for how long alone?
Yeah, that's true.
How often? Like, how long is it? Like, really, like, and he's just gonna leave a note for the guy who is clearly had like hell, like his hellscape removed.
Yeah. But that's what Sam would want him to do. He wants him to
Sam would
go
want a
save
note.
the day.
That's what
But
he
he'd want him to go.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
sure.
What else do you do? So he tells them where they're going, and here's a note to meet him, and leaves him an address and a pistol.
Yeah, you also like you're gonna wake up. There's a gun next to your face and a note.
After a psychotic
that's
break.
That's how I calmly wake up. Just like, what the fuck?
Here's a note, like a note and a gun. After having a total meltdown.
A nuzzle. What the fuck word I'm looking for? What do you call a muzzle? It's just like pointed at your face, and that's what you see when you wake up.
Very reassuring, very calming.
Just so calming.
Very nice.
Thanks, Dean.
Well, Hell Sam tells Sam that he wishes that he hadn't come. And basically, like, Sam's figured out, like, his body's still in the real world. So that's why he came to the house, because he feels like he could just go to his body and that'll be better, because it smells like Old Spice and whiskey.
And that's how he knows he's at Bobby's, because Old Spice and whiskey. And I was like, I can smell Bobby's house now. I do love that. Like, you know the smell.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, but you have to go through Hell Sam first and put yourself back together.
We have to merge. We have to merge.
So weird.
It's so gross.
It's really weird. I've also got a bitch about it. This seems like it seems like very anticlimactic, not anticlimactic, but I'm like, whoa, it's this huge thing. You got to get through all these layers of your soul. There's two. Just saying, there's two. Like,
this is your Tri-Wizard tournament. To become the champion, you must run, and you must become one with your Hell Sam. But you know what Hell Sam thinks you should do is, like, you should just find that bartender and Jess. And, Hell Sam got a little poly on him. It's nice. All right. I like where you're going. Keep going, Hell Sam. He's like, you just find them. And then Hell Sam is like, fine, here's the knife.
Yeah, like, don't shoot me. I'm not gonna fight back. Here's a knife. You're good. Just shoot me. Or stab me. It's cool. It's your last chance. And wishes him luck. So Sam stabs him.
Yeah, and then I'm just kind of like, okay, this is where I was like, maybe Sam's brain is just, and I was thinking of like a pessimist, but I noted, like, I'm not sure if that's a quite word, right? Because these are all things that, like, this is inside his brain, right?
Right.
So his brain thinks that you are too weak, you're too much of a pussy to take what happened to you in hell. So, but to me, is like, could he just like kind of like do like some Lizzo therapy or something just to like boost himself up to like, you know, handle the hellscape? Like, you have to be such like this sad face of like, I just can't take the hell. I'm just gonna crumble. Like, what if you just like kind of, you know, like, I can do this, like, huzzah, and like you have like a montage, and then, you know, like you take on your health thing. You don't have to collapse.
I mean,
think positive.
Sure.
No?
Think positive.
Think positive? That's not the way to... Okay.
No, I'm just teasing.
Right.
Now, I just thought it was weird. I just thought it was a weird, like, series of challenges, being just the two. I felt like it would, like, should have been...
Well, and then also he stabs himself.
With the concept.
And
gross. That's really dark, too. Like, weird. That hands-on, that close. It's very odd.
And then I was just like, he sucks himself in. This is when I go, and this is when his trip just gets really bad. Because, like...
Well...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I just said, like, it was the bad, like almost like the dance party part of his trip, where like everything just starts going very like KMFDM, and it's like wah wah as he's just like lying there and like trying to get through it. That's the best way I could think of describe this.
Yeah, I guess I mean, my thing too is, though, like, you'd think that if you're defeating these parts of yourself that were negative and taking them on and being able to absorb that it would be like a mental defeat of them as well. I don't know. Like, even though you're taking on the memories, that you're able to process it because you defeated it. I don't know. It just seemed like it was a very it seems like a shortened metaphor. It seems like a very shortened version of the metaphor.
But it's almost like, you're the teenage girl and I was talking about this with a friend of mine tonight about what like we thought about like girls in the 90s, like, these supermodels of them. And she's like, oh, I think it's art and fashion. And I'm like, I think these are girls that maybe have an eating disorder and be like all these like negative things about them, right? And it's all about this perspective of like what this negative self, like you can take this and you can become a part of like you're putting it as part of yourself. And negative Sam is just taking all of this and he's just putting more negative parts on himself. Like, I don't feel like he's dealing with any of them. He's just like becoming darker and becoming more miserable and annoying. Like, if you like just like fuck them off away, it'd be different, right? He's not like defeating them and fucking them off. He's like, I'm just gonna make this like sad part of me that you me sad, or
I guess.
He's
I don't know. All
right, but we're gonna cut to Cass and his NutriShake.
He's got his NutriBullet.
His NutriBullet of blood. It's just there.
And Balthazar is there.
He is.
And Cass is like, hey, Balti, Dean's on his way. That's not good. And by the way, he's on his way because we've got a Judas. I wonder who that could have been. And I like that Balthazar says, holy hell. I don't know why. I was just very tickled by that choice.
Well, I also love, he's claiming Balti is doing my favorite defense, the Shaggy defense. It wasn't me. Like, I appreciate this as if you're going to lie to your friends, always a good one. Wasn't me. You can't prove it. But, Cass is like seeing through it. But this is also where I really like kind of plays in like, it sucks to be an angel. And I think you'll see this more later as we get through this, is like, this is what happens when you have like, I don't know if it's like a militaristic thing that Heaven is becoming, but basically like, you're like, what? I had to choose between this douchebag Castiel and this douchebag Raphael. Like, and Balthazar is just stuck between a Raphael and a Castiel, and he don't know what to do.
Well, and he wants a Castiel, but Castiel's gone off.
But Castiel, is like, well, fuck, like you're my friend, but I can't support you right now. Like, you're being a douchebag. Like, I'm sorry, sometimes your friendship just can't go past this, right?
No, but Cass wants to give a monologue about it, about everybody's against me. Man, no one understands.
Yeah.
And then he kills Balthazar.
And when he stabbed him with this, like, also he says like, I'll always have you, and then he like diciously like stabs him. And I actually like really like Balthazar and his sexy t-shirts and his little blazer. Like, we'll all miss you. Sexy little bit of chest hair, little things. But so when the lights go off in this building, this was the most lights I've ever used in any supernatural effect. It was 270,000 watts of lighting, which is the last time it was the most was when they had the 18-wheeler wreck. And that was 250,000 watts. But so this, like, that flash that goes through the house, which lasts for like 2 seconds, was the most, like, probably was not the most expensive, but at least the most amount of lighting.
Interesting.
Cool, right?
I like it.
Yep.
Well, Bobby and Dean in Baby roll up to the address that they had gotten from Balthazar. And it's a full moon. We're getting ready to have our eclipse. And Bobby's like, oh, yeah, there's a whole lot of guards there, but they're not demons. They're angels.
What? So Bobby's like, we're going to ninja our way in.
I like that Dean makes a comment about his knees squeaking.
Yeah, which is also like, but like, hey, like, I kind of feel, I'm not exactly sure Bobby's age during this, and I think it's a little older than we are, but it's not that much older, and I kind of feel like Bobby right now. I'm like, I'll be fine. Shut up.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Shut up, my knee's going to make noise. Whatever.
So, but they start hearing like a weird, like a thrumming and kind of a booming sound. Yeah, that's
the pedal starts vibrating, right? So we've got
very
we've got water,
Park.
but it's
very
just
Jurassic
like, oh no, it's a T-Rex.
No, it's not a T-Rex with little arms. Sadly enough, it is as I wrote, a freaking ton of cocksmoke demons.
Oh, I wrote a buttload of demon smoke.
There we go. And they are so many that they are blocking out the moon, not the eclipse. And then so Dean and Bobby have to get into Baby for protection. And these fucking assholes throw Baby around.
Yeah, they fucking like, it's almost like I was looking I had a lot of cat litter things this week, and there is a cat litter, which is pretty much like the robot version of it, but pretty much like it's a tumbler, right? So that's how the automatic sifter is. It's just like kind of like an octagon shape.
Right.
And so like you have the sifter in it and you roll it over, and that's how you like clean the kitty litter. So like the clumping thing stops, like, and the clean litter falls to the bottom. And that's all I could think of as his car was like rolling over. I was like, that's just like the kitty litter rolling over and over. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So,
but they're fine, I guess. They're fine.
I guess. So we go back. We go inside to Cass and Crowley. Yeah. And Cass is reading over what they need, and he hears this commotion, and just Cass is in there. But Crowley shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, don't underestimate the King of Hell, motherfucker. Look at all my demons I got. We're ready."
Yeah, some boy's like, "I'm back. I am unsmiteable. Cass, try me." Mm-hmm. And Cass is like, "That's fine." And like, hand to the forehead, talk to the hand. And when he tries to talk to the hand, like nothing happens.
But who flaps in? It's Raphael in the female vessel.
Yes, and she's in another vessel. Is also there was something in the book about how like she was really cool to like she was really happy to play this. But so most importantly though, Crowley uses the word scatological, and I love it when you talk dirty. Crowley and Diana, can you tell me what the word scatological means?
If you hadn't asked, I could. I know the word.
What's it mean?
Blanking.
It's about poop. It's about poop. Scat is poop. And so it's about relating to excrement or excremental functions. So Crowley tells Cass in no uncertain words, he tells his boyfriend that, hey, I know you were talking about Raphael and you were calling him a piece of shit or whatever. But he uses it in the very, like, it's just so nice when they make it like, you don't know that this is like, I'm really insulting you, but you only know I'm insulting you if you know what the word scatological means.
Oh, yeah. So, but Crowley's like, yeah, I found Raphael quite reasonable. But, and so now Cass thinks it's a good idea to appeal to fucking Raphael or to Crowley. He's like, yeah, Raphael's going to destroy you? What the fuck? This is a bad plan. And Crowley's like, yeah, he's going to kill me. You didn't fucking exactly shoot me straight either, brah. So he's like, look, Raphael's going to protect me in exchange for the purgatory plan. So
he gets my blood. He gets my blood, bitch.
But, and Raphael's like mad at or scolds Cass. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to let him take that much power. So I'm not going to let you take that much power. If anyone's going to be the new god, it's me. So now really what we know, and it's been alluded to a bunch, is that this whole fucking fight is whether Crass is
coming back. Yeah.
Whether Castiel or Raphael will become the new god.
That's what this fight over heaven is all about. Oh shit. Oh my god. And now Crowley is going to throw us all back in Cass's face and says, you got two options.
Flee or die. Oof. Brutal.
And Cass is like, fine. Pew! And he throws the blood in his face and flaps off.
Take it. I'm gone. I'm going to flee. So Crowley and Raphael are like, cool. The sigil's already on the wall. Eclipse is happening. Let's do this. And so he starts doing the words for the ritual.
And so he chants. And he says, great door of purgatory, that is closed for us. Its light is kept away from our eyes. But now we're standing on this threshold of the great door and humbly, faithfully, respectfully are preparing for its opening. But he says all that in Latin, and it's very perfect, and it's hot. Then he says, terrible creature whose claws and teeth have never touched human flesh is opening its jaws to world our world now. Great door open at last. Sexy.
And while that's going on, Dean and Bobby wake up in Baby, and they decide to ninja in. So they do, because now there's a distraction with all the demons around.
They do.
And Dean tries to super ninja throw the angel blade at Raphael, but it definitely misses, and Raphael catches it.
Yeah, and so if Raphael hadn't caught it, it still would have missed. Like, that was like over his shoulder. It was like right here. And I'm like, you should have been like, eh. So like, I guess it's good. And then It's so hot. Crowley just takes his hand and he flings Bobby down the stairs, but then he takes Dean and then like he up and overs him, like
Overs the railing
just
and
like
onto the table.
and then like shoves him down a lab table, which is very much like the tables that were in the hospital I was at last weekend. Yeah.
But outside we see who's arrived. Sam's there.
Sam
oh
is
shit.
there.
Sam's there. What the fuck? That means he got out of his head. That's exciting.
And we're pretty sure it's real because we can see Baby is flipped over. So
right. But he's also having hell flashbacks, and that's not good. And stumbling.
yeah, and I think this is the first time for the season where you get to see Sam with his flame background. And it's like his flame, like Zoom background that we're all doing during the pandemic, or more accurately, like Louise from Bob's Burgers. Like that is what I see during this. And spoiler, it's not the last time we're going to see Sam from Bob's Burgers.
Sam from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Crowley finishes the ritual words, but nothing fucking happens.
Womp womp. We get it very much like an anticlimactic womp womp.
We do. But who shows up? Fucking Cass is back. Oh, guess what? He has the real jar of blood. Oh, he tricked them.
Triple cross.
Blah, blah, blah.
Triple cross. What?
Triple cross.
Oh.
Ah. And so Crowley tastes the blood on the sigil that they were using, and it's dog's blood.
Does that mean Cass killed a dog?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like you, Cass. That's gross.
But Raphael is not entertained by this back and forth. I feel like Crowley's mad, but he kind of loves this shit.
Of course he does.
And Cass is just like, Cass doesn't get it. It's not a game. He's just doing his thing.
He's just like, he's the person in your poly group that's just like being an asshole and like wanting to stir up the drama, and he loves it. But Cass is just like, no, it's too late. I've got that soul glow. And he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that soul glow just on. He's full of light.
Full of light. It fades, and he's just going on about how you can't imagine what it's like. All inside me. Millions upon millions of souls.
That's so gross. It's so gross. He's like, all of them are inside of me. And you know, it's like, it's sexy. And then he pops and like, he's like, and then Crowley's like, that's hot. Like, actually, Crowley literally says, it's sexy. And he likes it. And then he's just like, I gotta go. Because that's what you do. And then Raphael's like, damn straight. He's like, that's what I'm gonna do too.
Crowley out.
Oh, what? I had to stay here. Fuck. Awkward. Yeah.
And Raphael's real pissed. But he's like, I got plans for Crowley later. No problems. But I'm gonna snap my fingers and explode you in blood splatter.
Just like he did to me. Burn. Like that's payback, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, say Dean. Hey, Dean, I saved you. Right?
And
We're
Dean's
cool,
like,
right?
yeah, thanks. And he's like, yeah, you doubted me and fought against me, but I was right all along.
What? Oh, no. Oh, shit. Girl, shut up.
Mm-mm. And Dean's apologetic still. He's like, yeah, you're right. And I'm going to apologize because also they're terrified. He's like, yeah, we need to get like this like soul fuse or whatever taken care of because you're going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah, and apparently like this part of the plan had not been discussed before. And so it's like you're full of like nuclear shit. Like we're gonna get this out of you.
Mm-mm.
Right?
But Cass is like, nope, I gotta go punish all of Raphael's followers.
And once again, this is where I was like, this like sucks to be an angel because pretty much like they were like, all right, so we're an angel, like we live under this dude God. All right, so God disappears, and now we've got like these two dudes that show up, and one of them like he's kind of a dick, like Raphael's like not really nice, and then Cass is like shows up, he's like, you get free will, but you don't, and then I'm like, I have to choose between these two dickheads, and this pretty much is all an allegory for modern government. Okay, so then we're back to this. All right, and so Dean's just like, we're family, right?
I would die for you. I've already lost Lisa, Ben, and I've lost Sam before. I don't want to lose Cass too.
But also, this is a bad relationship thing. Like, you're in a shitty, abusive relationship because he's like, I have lost Ben, Lisa, Sam, and theoretically, he lost them all because of Cass.
Yeah.
I know, you need to break this shit up, Dean.
But Cass pops back with, you're just saying that because you're afraid. You're not my family.
Toxic.
But we see somebody's hand grab the angel blade that's laying on the ground. And as Cass says, I have no family. Sam stabs him in the back.
Quadruple cross! Quadruple cross! Yeah! But
nothing happens.
Angel Blades don't work on me.
Glad Sam made it, but Castiel's not an angel anymore. He's their new god. And a better one. So they need to bow down, profess their love unto me, your Lord, or I will destroy you.
Kneel before Todd! Kneel before Todd! And then...
What? We get to zoom in on his face and the episode ends.
Yeah. No, we actually get eyes. And I have captured this, and we'll see. Well, there may be an alteration of this version when this airs. We don't know. But it's just like it zooms in on Bobby's eyes, and it zooms in on Sam's eyes, and it zooms in on Dean's eyes, and it zooms in on Cass's eyes, and then it quits. And that is how the season ends. It's just like I, and then like with like, and then like just like with swelling music behind it, and then it just fucking stops. Which I guess is how you end a cliffhanger, like for a season. I guess, but I mean, it was also but like almost an unclimactic cliffhanger, an anticlimactic cliffhanger, right?
It was, but it's still upsetting.
Do you have a casting?
I do have a couple of casting.
Okay, let's go to casting couch, and then we will digest this.
Casting couch. It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
Okay, so we've got our good friend Robin, the bartender, who I've got, which I think we hadn't talked about her before ever. We've never seen her, even though they did a flashback.
Even though you feel like you've seen her before, and it drives you crazy because you're like, did I forget this? Did we miss this? You did not.
No. So her name is the actress's name is Erica Sera, Cerra. Nice. I think she could also look. I jokingly said that she looks like Eva Longoria's sister. I stand by it. She played the quote goth vixen wannabe in Blade Trinity.
I want that to be an extra credit.
I know. So she was in several episodes of The L Word, Battlestar Galactica, and Deadly Class. She was in
Deadly Class? Mm-hmm. Who did she play in Deadly Class? Do you know? Oh, David. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Deadly Class.
She was only in a few episodes. Yeah. She wasn't like a regular. It's a sci-fi series. It looks good.
Quick side tangent. Deadly Class was a one-season thing that happened on Sci-Fi, but all of the soundtrack for it was 1980s punk rock. And it was all about these like subcultures of kids who like have to like, they're being trained by assassins. Like it's so good. Oh, I just look now to see who she was in that. It was good. Okay. Sorry, go on.
And then she's been in single episodes of shows like iZombie, Lucifer. She was Hera in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians film. She played a character. The action star was her character in Mortal Kombat Legacy. She played Trini's mom in the 2017 Power Rangers movie. And she's ALIE, aka Dr. Becca Franco in The 100, the series, on like regular role, and then DA Jean Rosario in the Nancy Drew series that's out now. Plus, she's in about 8 episodes of Supernatural. She plays Duma, the Shadow, and Robin. So we see her throughout the series, multiple times.
So,
yeah. So
this episode this season, right? So this is our season finale, and so we haven't really talked about what we're gonna do with this. So we are dropping, just for like logistics shit, we are dropping both of these episodes this Thursday of this week. That doesn't mean anything to you if you're listening to this in the future, but if you're not listening to us in the future and listening to us in the past, we are dropping these the first week of July, because we have entered July. Holy shit. And so first week of July 2023, we'll drop both these episodes on Thursday. Traditionally we take a week or two off. I don't know, we'll figure out. Things are weird.
We'll
see. We'll keep you posted.
Schedules are busy.
Yep,
it is what it is.
So but that being said, I kind of prepped Diana before this that we have ended season 6 and we're about to go into season 7, which is by some of my friends known as one of the worst seasons of Supernatural. So I don't know what to say, but first, like, I guess it was like, let's first go with thoughts on episode, then we'll go thoughts on seasons. All right. So thoughts on the episode.
Yeah. So I think this episode, I thought it was, I thought the premise was pretty interesting, actually, about him like having to defeat the parts of himself because of the wall in his head. But we don't really, he seems pretty okay. And I don't think he's supposed to be pretty okay, but he's also not great. So I'm real worried about Sam in that trajectory. But I'm really glad they finally brought that back, because it was kind of getting annoying that like this was like the critical issue for episode after episode. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're just not going to talk about the wall in his head anymore.
But also, I mean, and that's not like, think about like, if you get an injury, like, and I think, you know, you've had an injury that, you know, has, you know, whatever, like, you know, gone a while this year. And sometimes you feel like it's going to heal, but you also have to go off and do your life. Right. So sometimes you have a hell wall.
You just got to deal with it.
And you just,
in your brain.
at the same time, like, you've got to pay the electric bill. Right.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I think it's an interesting, like, you know, I thought it was an interesting premise about him battling the stuff in his own head. I thought it was a weird choice for Cass for I don't know. It's just a weird, I guess, taking down the wall.
It's a way to keep Dean busy.
I don't know.
It's a way to keep Dean and Bobby busy because they have to focus on.
But they didn't really know what was going to happen to Sam. So how did you know that he was just going to be like unconscious in his head?
And then like,
or like kill himself or freak out or whatever. Like he could have done. They didn't know what he was going to do.
He's the new god, so he can do whatever he wants, probably.
But he didn't. But he wasn't yet. Then he wasn't when he made that choice. I don't know. I thought that was weird. And then I was deeply amused, I guess, with all the double crossing, but Cass's character is not very fucking likable right now.
He's not. In this relationship, like in Destiel, I think at this point it's very toxic. Everything that is happening in the Destiel situation, and be that, you know, my glibly thing of them shipping together, but just in a real, like, the Cass and Dean relationship as friends, it's very toxic. Nothing that's happening here is good.
No, it's all bad.
If you were like, I've like, you know, thought about like, I had, you know, when you go through and move, you get the drawers, and like, I like, sometimes you have drawers that are like your exes. Like I have like the ex friend drawer, and I'm like, oh, toxic, right? And I feel like that, Dean, you're perfectly like, you have the like right to say at this point, toxic, and write Cass off and just be like, we're not friends anymore. I don't want you in my life. Yeah. But then also, what do you do when you want to write someone off and they're God?
That's a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that.
That adds something to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lot. So, but we now know that the battle with Raphael is over, which is fascinating, I guess. It's interesting to see what'll come from that. But
well, and we gotta pour one out for Balthazar too.
I know. That's sad. We like Balti. I like Balti.
Sexy chest hair.
Babe said he looked like he could play an understudy for Liam Neeson, and I was kind of
very much so. He is. No one's saying like he's poor man's Liam Neeson. You're rich man's Liam Neeson. Like you could very much like you could be in Taken.
Yeah,
I like you.
I bet you have skills that whatever that line
yes,
is.
Sebastian. you could be Liam. I'm just saying.
So no, I think it was. I was a little concerned about the season at first. I'm not gonna lie, because parts of it I was like, oh, but it ended up doing like had such good episodes. Like the Twihard one was so fucking good, and things like that. The Soul thing just got real like concerning with the Sam stuff for me. I don't know.
You mean Sam's soul, like him not having a soul? But I mean, it was, you know, I mean, so he got to be more attractive, like whatever. And then, you know,
not to me.
Whatever, Diana, you're wrong. It's all we all know. Men are so much better when they're emotionally unavailable. Right, but you know, so we had this whole idea. So. But then we also had Dean's relationship, right? So we had Dean's Lisa and Ben thing.
The whole arc. And that made me really sad. Like I was saying when we finished episode 21, I really, in my heart, still like, I wanted, and like, okay, not just in my like, I wanted a happy story, wrap it up. Yeah. No, I knew it'd be a challenge, but I thought that they both deserved some kind of thing like that to last a little bit longer. Even if they couldn't make it work forever, I thought that arc of him trying to balance being a hunter and also being with her, I really liked that. Or at least them acknowledging each other. And it's just really fucking dark to me that she's been erased from him.
You could have
that he's been erased from her.
Theoretically, in Jensen Ackles' other multiverse world of this, you know, a world where Dean is able to be a hunter, to raise a child as a hunter in a healthy way. And like, it doesn't have to be this toxic shit that it has to be like at least in my canon, you could write that, but in this canon, you can't. There's like, no, there's no way you can do this and become like a normal person. There's only pain and death down this road. And I think it's sad.
Yeah, it is. It is, but that's what Dean's decided, and he made the decisions for other
but
people.
We also, they made. Okay, so let's go back to we talked about this in the last episode, right? So there's a lot of the consent of your will, right? So we have, and Cass is all about free will, right? And so Dean took free will from Ben and Lisa, and Cass is taking free will away from everybody else.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a really good parallel for it. Absolutely, I like it.
So what do you think is to come? All right. So are we done? Like, I don't know. So are we done?
Yeah.
But anything else?
No, I'm
about
interested to see. I'm intrigued. No, I think that's it. I think it's really hard to look forward now. Me knowing, like, I mean, obviously I'm good because it's impossible to avoid. I have a general concept that Castiel's character sticks around. Okay. So I'm not oblivious.
What? Misha Collins is still a part of the show later?
Yeah.
What? Like,
And so, but it also seems like a positive relationship. Not that I've seen an episode, but just the implication about the relationships and how people view the character. So what the fuck does that mean happens? Obviously something fucked is going to happen. You've warned me that some people don't like the next season at all. And now we know that Castiel is on his power trip and being kind of a dick and wants people to bow to him and punish people. So this is kind of an all bad. And what's really going to happen? Sam's like been trying to process all these different parts of him. And you could tell like he's still like limping and having these flashbacks. So, he's going to be struggling with this wall being down now. So what does that mean? I mean, obviously we're going to see more of Sam Hell flashbacks. Because we saw Dean Hell flashbacks for a while.
The Louise Burger, Belcher. Like in front of the fire, Sam. Like, okay, it's bad. But yeah, I mean, that's clearly like,
those are conflicts going into the next season for sure.
Yeah, but. I mean, and from my point of view, I mean, season 6 had some of my favorite episodes, but I think season 5 is still ranks as like my favorite. But this episode we did have, this season we did have Frontierland. We did have, the Frontierland was great. We've got them, that shoving back. And we also, as we mentioned earlier during the trivia, we've got the ferry episode. I think the ferry episode is one of my favorite ones.
And the Twihard was mine. I told you that. I love
Twihard. This was the year of the Meta episode where we had the Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki meet Sam and Dean Winchester, we got into that world. And so I think there was a lot of so as Sera Gamble took this over, which I know was a big thing to go from Eric Kripke, who did come in as, and I think that's an interesting thing, and I would have liked to had more time and also just more resources just on what that meant. For him coming back in as the writer, I think that's just really interesting to have your former showrunner come in and write your season finale. And I don't know how much of that was a group effort or what, but I think that's really cool. So, but so we've got season 7, it's coming, and lots of things, and we're going to meet lots of new people. And I will say there is a t-shirt that has been sitting in my closet since probably a year now. And how long it's been since we started this, but that I finally get to wear next season, and I'm very excited about it. So we get to meet, as much as people say this next season sucks, one of my favorite people is in it. So looking forward to that. Okay. So I think that's a good positive note to end on.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, cheers, Dirk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.